The following may include subject matters of war, violence, loss, and adult themes which may not be appropriate for all audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Faraway friends, welcome. You have found yourself once more in Darkeport. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Quick shout out to our sister stream, Constructed Chaos. I understand Alex is in the chat. Yay! Alex, Morgan, the rest of the Chaos crew, thank you so much for being there alongside us on this journey, on this saga. We have another quick shout out to one of our Friends and Allies, the shop of many things.
Ooh.
Yeah, those guys are great over there, and they offer all sorts of accessories from puzzle trinkets to obviously
dice.
floating dice.
I'm not allowed to.
Again, those the textile maps that you can use to reconfigure that they have available. So go check them out. They have a lot of things that you might be able to use.
Pens.
Yeah.
The dark
Pens,
pens.
yeah.
There was a whole discussion about pens that was happening.
Was.
Yeah, it was good to take a nap before the stream.
Thank you all guys for the support, by the way.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Go support them on Kickstarter.
Get a floating dice so you can knock it over in front of your friends.
All right. So when we last left our protagonist, there was a certain event on a certain rooftop. Mm-hmm. And we were covered in the blood of our dear childhood friend.
Yeah, potential lover.
Right. There had been some unfortunate revelations around one of the most important rituals of your people, the Sertiman, which is, in this era, has devolved into a ritual combat. It's not always that way.
Yep.
And the victor of the Sertiman and or survivor is typically granted chosen status by the goddess herself,
Granted something.
by Loyatar,
It was
the
granted
mistress,
something.
the maiden of needful pain. However, this time, your amazingly competent older brother Yusuf, who fought magnificently and was indeed the victor, got something far, far different. So he is now currently one of the thinking dead, and perhaps Terra's first actual vampire.
That's cool.
That theory has been floated.
Thank God I was thinking smart zombie. That's way cooler. Okay, great.
No, we can't ruin that kid's looks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no.
All right.
He's too good looking for that.
handsome.
So we have a little journal entry, but first we're gonna light the candle of tales. Yeah.
The candle of tales.
You got it.
Yay.
Holy moly.
Love it.
So I have a journal for everyone. And I might cry, I might not, but we'll see.
Public candle.
Sabotage has been documented in athletic activities, games, political schemes. But the holy ritual is unheard of, right? There could be no other explanation for what happened to my brother. Me. The voice never stopped, mocking me as I sit with my guilt and shame on everything we put our faith into. What is the point of our maiden if everything is rendered useless with this steamed digging putrid claws into our ways of life? I wonder if the voice is truly her, putting me to the test. It scares me to think that I was the one meant to continue the chosen legacy and not Yusuf. It doesn't feel correct. And Mare, I failed you. This is my responsibility and mine alone. There isn't a day that goes by where I don't see her blood on my hands. Like you were practicing the written word on me just to prove a point. I'm haunted by that day. Like a new form of pain was unearthed from the very cavity of her corpse that I can never be returned. Forever drowning in the very thing that gave you life. Gave me life. That I was too comfortable in. I guess I should have seen it coming. I didn't care enough to think about losing the people closest to me. Maiden, forgive me for these silly thoughts. I believe you have a plan for all of us, but why me? This doesn't feel like your doing. I feel your weight on me. I can't get up. I still feel Mare and Yusuf on me, keeping me chained to my bed in the morning. My stomach constantly full, yet hungry for answers. I want an explanation. I want my ability to love back.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Very, very happy journal, everybody. So.
So,
Oh.
So,
I'm gonna cry on
this is
stream.
quite rare, but this is the last page of the notebook. And it's the journal from the start of the day.
Okay, fine. Go for it. Go for it.
I write this with letters that you taught me. Hayat, I know now that when I speak, I only aim to please. I am a coward in this way. But now I know I can write and think before I speak. And since you're a nosy bookworm, I know you'll read this. This is a blessing. It is why I breathe, and it's because of you, Hayat. I know that today is for Yusuf. I want to say that no matter what happens, you need to know that you are enough. I love Yusuf, as you do, as a brother. My love for you is different in the way that I am different, in the way that stars love the night and flowers love water and sun. You say my beauty is a curse, yes. However, my only curse is that I can't describe my love for you.
Oh.
My words, both written and spoken, also betray me. I hear those call me in the street. They admire me, but I don't exist until you see me. For what I am, I exist for you. And as long as I can sing, you will feel my love.
Nice.
I'm fine, guys. I'm okay.
Hard to read it through the red.
Yeah. Things are gonna go a little salty in my eyes. Someone's cutting onions in here.
Sorry, we got to prep dinner.
Sydney, we got it. We're seven minutes in and you're fine. Okay.
You're okay. You're okay. It's all right.
I'm crying, guys.
Whatever.
Whatever,
Let's
man.
do a game anyway.
Let's just go on with the game.
Play some D&D, all right?
So, right.
This stupid game.
So 4 days. 4 days. What a difference 4 days make. And in 4 days, you have been by Mayor's side as he's hovered between life and death. Miracle of miracles, he should have been extinguished immediately. And there's talk of all sorts of things. Of divine intervention, of enormous luck, of something more sinister. He's under your roof. His parents are as unreliable as ever. At this moment they want nothing to do with all of this. So they faded back into the shadows and alleyways that they came from. The two parents I will deal with in a moment. You've had quite the last couple days, as you might imagine, considering where we left off.
What information we may or may not know, yeah.
And Blessed Hamid, you were the first person to find your daughter, who was beside herself, covered in the blood of her best friend on the rooftop that has seen so many beautiful exchanges between them over the long summers, and now gone. Before it was yours, I'm going to say that the two of you would sneak onto the rooftop because it was so beautiful.
Totally.
And the security was so lax.
Relax.
You could just hop a fence and go up. But now it's yours. So different feeling, and kind of to your point about feeling comfortable, that you really truly had gotten totally at home in this home, and specifically on the rooftop at night looking up at the stars. And so that's where I'm gonna open it. What is your character doing, Sydney?
It was 4 days from that moment.
4 days, and amazingly, he is clinging to life.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
Everyone assumed he was dead, and he should have been dead.
Yeah.
Everyone was looking at us like, "Yep, that's a dead person."
Yep, that's dead.
There's a door now.
In fact, no, I'm not going to have you roll for this.
Oh.
As you're looking down at him, and you're sitting there, you know there was a moment that he was dead. You don't know how long it was. You have told nobody that yet. mean, if you want to this session, feel free. But and maybe it's only percolated up to your conscious mind here recently.
They'll reach out for their hand and just give it a nice squeeze for a little bit.
Still so cold.
And just even like leans down and gently kisses her forehead as well. And another squeeze, and still holding their journal in their hand. Just because.
Nosy bookworm that you are, how long did it take you to read that last passage?
Literally this morning.
Okay.
Ooh.
It's like having a moment of processes. And just regret, remorse, tons of thoughts spiraling of just, did I do that? Why did I do that? Why wasn't I paying attention? What was I doing? Why was I so stupid and listened to this, this entity, whatever it is? Maybe it's a band, maybe it's not. Maybe it's something else.
Instead of being there for him when he needed you.
Yep.
Okay. That makes perfect sense. And then final question, have you told anyone of your experience with the potential abeyance? Not yet. Okay. So there's a lot that you're sitting on right now. That
Yep.
makes okay.
Yep.
That all tracks.
Needful pain.
That all tracks.
It's
Sensing a
needful, I
theme.
promise.
Well, these would all right.
Promise
you
I'm
want
not
to justify
emo,
These would all
guys.
be over. I mean, these would all be
there's a lot of
overwhelming
things
for a
at once.
17-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so question for the parents: Are you, as this opens, are you all at home? Or are you all on business? There is definitely business to do. There's definitely home front to take care of.
What was the result of the detect magic? I assume that Mithra did on the upper area, or whatever spell he was casting to see if
Nothing.
there's anything that was tampered with it. Nothing.
Nothing. Nope.
Hamid, since she was the first one there, I think she's still a mom and she still would have been like hugging on Hayat, but her tactical mind would be instantly taking in the scene. Is there a blade? Is there a knife? Where is it? Where is the blood on her? So she would have looked at all of that to see, did the narf start on this side and go on that side?
So you've
Where
actually
is-
started investigating.
Yes,
that?
there would be
Okay.
an investigation that is immediate because that happened in her house.
Okay.
A roof, but her house.
Yeah. No. On the grounds. Fair enough.
She wants to know what happened.
Amir, are you basically going with your wife on the investigation? So same question to you, but shaded that way because I'm about to have Melissa roll for that.
For at least initial. Who?
Yeah. No, this is hard. This
You
is
take it from the magic
this
side,
is a
and I
hard
take
one.
it from
Crazy
the...
situation. You're welcome, guys, but
I would have talked to my wife because my thoughts are I'm very well connected to the maiden, and I almost want to contemplate at least for one day about what happened, why it happened, and any sort of divine inspiration or gift or sense of why
Ooh. Okay.
he was turned into this.
That just came to me.
Oh,
Okay.
for you,
It-
Seth?
yeah. I mean, that's a big thing. Is like why he succeeded the Certimen and why this happened, and what foulness came about, or what punishment this is needful. He's trying to understand this a little bit philosophically, since he's a very philosophical guy. Anyway,
Okay.
So his focus is there.
for a good part of it, and maybe based on outcomes, maybe the second half of that 4 days I spend time with you, or maybe not. It's up to, it depends on what I need to spend time on that.
Okay. Why don't both of you then, Melissa, give me an investigation check with advantage because you would have had plenty of help and plenty of other eyes, and then Corey, make either an insight or an arcana check. And unfortunately, you just have to do it raw because nobody can help you with that. And Melissa.
From being
So
Yeah,
that's
the
going to be a dirty 20.
blessed.
You're 1. Okay.
The only one that they love.
Wow. Okay. Both of you are off and running.
Power couple, power couple.
No, you guys are so good at this.
Okay, so the investigation's pretty darn successful, and I will actually, yeah, we'll follow that trail for a little bit. And then Corey, you did have an insight that out of all of the Death Tamers in this generation, you're probably the only one who could have actually done that because of how you became chosen. But you got something that was actually to you quite significant. But
Okay.
all right, so as your husband is deep in contemplation, and this is not the first time. You've been married for many summers now, and you've seen many life events and all kinds of crises come and go, and
So I know
all of
his
that.
patterns. And
This is not surprising. You honestly, you would have been surprised if he had not examined this from his specific perspective. So instead, as your daughter is grieving, and as Mare continues to, against all odds, cling to life, and your character might have whatever suspicions she might have, but you know that was a mortal wound. Whoever did that was not screwing around.
Damn it, I used pen.
Oh, sorry. All this talk of pen, Corey. It got
Still on the mind.
It got into you.
Enjoyers.
This loser.
And without further fanfare, you follow the breadcrumbs, and she tried to cover her tracks well, and she did a decent job, but she's not chosen. And so the self-styled rival of Mare, even though Mare has turned down Khosrau, your leader before, Fatima is the one who gave him a second smile.
Always Fatima.
why am I not surprised?
And
You're always jealous of me.
currently she is, I won't say untouchable, but making a move on her is going to be a big deal that we'd need to play out because she is in favor with Khosrau. So
Of course.
Of course she is. Of course.
okay. So that's
I haven't liked her since
That's
the moment she put a
actually
knife to my neck.
I thought it was.
You know what I mean?
so that's basically that's basically what you spend those days tracking down. And you are not over the top savage, but you are not kind as you were tracking this lead either. If you need to break a few arms, you break a few arms. If you need to remind a few people of who and what you are capable of, you do so, and you move on. All right. So, Amir, this is actually you don't even know. You are not aware this is about 2 days into it. You fast. You take. There are actually different ritual poisons that you take just a tiny bit of to alter your consciousness.
Sorry, is spices still around?
It is, but most of those are too much of the body,
Okay, yeah.
and so you're taking like a little bit. This particular poison is called haramide,
Ooh, yeah.
and you take a little bit.
Spice must flow.
You're taking just a little bit of haramide, and it's dangerous because it slows your heartbeat down, it slows your respiration down, but it also takes your mind deeper. And even chosen, you have to be careful just how much you're imbibing. But again, old hand at this. And your as you open your eyes, you're in your home, but you already know it's not your home because the lighting is wrong and the feeling is wrong. And you look back and you see yourself meditating before the altar amongst the braziers and the incense, the vial of haramide half gone. And someone is, or something is watching you from the doorway, cloaked in serenity.
Do I know who it is? I glance at it.
No, but you have a strong feeling to drop to your knees.
Yeah, I dropped to my knees. my lady.
Not quite.
He looks up.
And you see a being of bone and starlight and immense intellect watching you, of unearthly beauty, although that's almost irrelevant. And you see them as the perfect avatar of what one brand of your philosophy would say people should manifest as, almost like almost like your version of an angel, where it's perfectly balanced between spirit and physical, between male and female, between power and grace.
Are you the voice of our maiden?
In words you understand, I will be a mirror. Or I may yet be. I am what may yet be. But only if Hayat moves the way that she must and becomes they that will be. It will be very painful because Hayat will have no name.
No name.
None at all. Until they do. I'm sorry. I could not find any other pathway. And even being born in the river, it is difficult to see into what I perceive as the past. Please forgive my stupidity and my limitations.
No.
And they actually bow, like there's this very small bow, but to you.
You've come to me in my contemplation of what happened to Yusuf. Sorry. Yeah, Yusuf.
Yeah, Yusuf.
Yes. And if I understand her will correctly, then I know why he was wrought. I also know how he was wrought. They are contradictory, Amir. They are... No, better said. They are a dichotomy, but they are not impossible one with the other.
But her will in needful pain.
Sometimes a man's greed can service the will of our maiden. And sometimes the will of our maiden is wrought through a man's greed. Do you understand?
Yes.
He has a service to perform. Many summers hence, he will travel to the north, and he will be the prince of the Serene Lady. That is one pathway. I do not know if that is the best pathway. Do you hear me? I do not know if that is the best pathway, because I do not know if the Serene Lady is friend or foe, or something else entirely. It will be for you here and now to decide, not me and what you perceive as the future.
How could I influence this?
Through your work, as you always have, Exalted. She has shown you a favor that brings tears to mine eyes. You did it the hardest way possible. I was an infant. I never made any choice. I was simply born as I was, and rose to the occasion.
Angel, do I interpret her as being like really the next true leader at this point?
Yes.
How can I assist thee?
Abeyance has already ejected and rejected the esteemed, whom I will come to hate, and then I must come to forgive. When that moment comes, Amir, remind me of this discussion, no matter how angry I am. It is actually needful.
Yes. What do I call you by, if I may know?
When one goes where one has not yet been born, Neither then does one have a name. I cannot recall. They will, though. Go to your daughter.
He gives her a bow.
Thank you.
Yes, nameless.
Although, somewhere, some way, I hear the person who was Hayat laughing. The word Habibe passes their tongue. Their lips.
He gives appropriate bow.
I love sitting on this table next to you because it's so fun to nerd out on these things. Oh my god.
Obviously, that was who will eventually be the next beloved, Trisley. But
Wow.
okay. A little glimpse into how Trisley rolls.
Yeah.
Why they're always totally high and totally kind of
Yep.
on some sort of prey.
They're
On
physically.
something.
Yeah.
They're physically, mentally, who knows?
All right. You only on a few occasions have you so cleanly separated out of your body, but you come back in and you know that Abeyance has rejected the esteemed, and that rejection was in some way responsible for the outcome of that certamen, which at this point you honestly don't know if that was a good outcome or a bad outcome. That remains to be seen.
He's serving a higher purpose that I do know. Whether or not it's
Right.
any good or bad, I don't know yet.
Right. And what you have to do with him or about him, you don't know either.
Okay.
Okay.
Draw a deep breath and just kind of settle himself in. What do I take normally to, I guess, to bring myself back to,
Sober up.
yeah, kind of like a detox? Or is it natural?
A little bit of wine.
Nice. Little while.
Quick buzz don't hurt nobody.
A tiny bit, basically to wake your tongue back up and remind yourself of the sensual pleasures of life. Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
So you hear soft footsteps. Actually, maybe you're so absorbed you don't. And then you hear
Come in.
hazel eyes, tall like yours. Much stronger than you, though. Nothing willowy about her. Very much her. You see a person who has been a friend in and out. Another one of the few, the handful of chosen in the valley. Ashtiani,
Yeah.
who is basically your age.
Okay. Does she still go by Ashtiani?
She is one of the few who never changed her name.
Awesome. Slay.
Just a through line.
Okay.
Just a through line.
Period.
Oh, your greetings.
Hi, Ashtiani.
I didn't know you were.
No, you weren't bothering me at all. It's been an interesting few days.
Your Blessed Mother told me. I came as soon as I heard that the Surthmen had gone awry. Should I... there's kind of this awkward moment. I was going to ask your mother about some... for her advice, I suppose one could say, on the path of the chosen. But I wanted to see how you were doing. May I come in?
Sure. Come in. I'm honestly surprised you come to see me after everything.
Silly girl, what do you mean? Of course I'm coming to see you now. And she steps up and she catches you up in a warm embrace,
Yeah. Like, they'll
pulls
hug
you to
back.
her.
Oh, yeah. They'll hug back immediately. Maybe a little bit too long, but it's just like, oh, someone's hugging me. Oh, this is wonderful. This is awesome.
She smells like dust and sweat and honest battle.
That seems like usual. More than usual. You've just come from working out. Oh, you smelled gross.
She smiles.
But still hugs.
And then you inhale deeper.
And she
I like that sentence.
she says into your ear, I notice you're still hugging me.
Just, it's been a rough couple of days. When you see your friend almost die next to you in front of your eyes. So,
I forget sometimes. You're so strong, your spirit. You're not chosen. You should not have to bear these things. She kisses your forehead.
you know.
Looks at you intently. I was going to tease you about someone. No, you don't want to hear my bad humor.
That is appreciated.
She says, it gets pretty grim out there, you know. I think aside from your blessed mother, I probably have the most torches logged in combat of the current generation.
Not surprised by that. I guess in the meantime, I probably might be joining you soon.
How do you mean?
Because of Yusuf, I don't think he counts as chosen anymore. Even though he did win. Just because
Okay,
of everything.
before we get to that craziness,
Oh. What do you mean? I mean, I'm going to be going in. I'm not prepared at all. I have
No,
some training.
you are
and
not at all. And maybe that's the second reason I came. But first, I need to hear from your own lips. You saw it yourself, yes? With Yusuf?
Parts of it, more of the ending. Some bits and pieces.
But you saw him. Your eyes met him. Is he... You know that there's a fucking prophecy about the first thinking dead, right? These people need to get out of Valleymore. They accuse me of having too many foreign influences, and I say that they're entirely too ignorant about this damn thing. Okay, Throben Valley is not the only thing that exists.
Well, then educate me. I would love to know. And they'll whip out another notebook
Well,
they always have on. Ready to write down, but also with like an air of sass to it. Yeah. I'm just like, yeah, tell me.
There's a prophecy. As far as I know, it comes from one of the Makarian oracles. But when I heard it, it was that there was going to be a thinking dead, and that, well, frankly, that the sister, or depending on how you translate the word, the sibling of the thinking dead was going to be a guide to, I don't know, it's kind of gibberish, but a guide, okay.
Guide. Be more specific. What is the specific word that it used? Because guide, I don't think suits me very much.
Okay, I'm going to skip
If it is about me.
Well, it's always about you, baby.
There's a little bit of blushing.
Come on now, come on. You walked into that.
I guess I did, but
Look, you know that I'm kind of obsessed about dragons, right?
a little too much, but you know.
Probably. I'm fine with that. But that... So there's something up in the northern expanse. Some people say it's a god. Some people say it's the actual first thinking dead, whatever. But it's called the Serene Lady. And one day I'm going to see it or see her. Some people say it was made by our maiden. Some people disagree with that. But this is how this whole thing with this prophecy started up. And supposedly, the first thinking dead made here, within the Emirates, was going to be... is going to make the journey up there. And the sibling of the thinking dead, if it is, then that would be you, I assume. Unless it's one of your younger ones.
God, I hope it isn't me.
Then they're going to... they're going to help guide this whole process. And since you asked for a specific word, actually, I've seen everything from guide to reform to abort. So, I don't know. I just wanted to lay eyes on you and make sure you were okay. Because you're soft and foolish and you need help.
I have a soft brain. Well, everyone does, but I have a soft brain, soft body, soft everything. So, I guess.
Hayat, if you go into the Surtamen like this, you're going to get eaten alive. You realize that there are people who've been training since before they could think.
Yeah, I know. One of them was my brother. That is apparently the first thinking that now. Great.
Okay.
As if things will not stop crashing in around me.
Well, when I talk treason to your blessed mother, do you want to be present for that, or do you want me to go?
If it's about her, then I assume she already has figured it out.
Well, it's not going to happen without her.
I'll go. Why not?
Are you sure?
I mean, fuck it. I guess it just can't get any worse.
You wake up.
Language. No, I'm kidding.
That's actually what he says.
Real quick,
Sure.
Grim gave us 5 memberships.
Thank you, Grim.
Thank you, Grim.
Thank you, Grim.
As they say, grifties.
Grifties.
Yes. Oh, did I just? And so you're.
Yeah, he's
It was her. Yeah, her
laying,
voice.
staring directly up, and that was the only thing. And when you said with the "I fuck," then that's what got him back, and he's laying there, just staring directly up.
You need to curse more.
You're okay.
Hayat,
Please.
I know your face.
What?
I know your face.
My face? Of course you know my face. You've known me for a while.
What happened?
I woke up and I heard voices, and then I woke up and then you were dead for a moment.
For how long?
I don't know. Minutes, seconds, a day.
Dead.
It felt heartbeat.
How long has it been since you left?
4.
Am I good enough to stand up?
As you even contemplate to try, the room starts spinning.
Yeah. Spins up, tries to get up.
No. You sit, please. Take your time. I'll go get them. And that.
I'll stay there, please. Johnny, stay with them, please. Thank you. And they'll go running and getting both of the parents.
Okay.
Be like, yo, this
What's
is
the timing on
crazy.
this versus our stuff? So I want to make sure I download it with my wife as
Yeah, you would
soon
have
as we
had.
can.
Yeah, you would have had time. So you already would have discussed
And I
his
just,
vision.
in addition to that, I would
So that was like 2 days ago.
Yeah, it was like 2 days ago.
there are a couple hypotheses. One is no chosen until we have another, meaning someone replacing will actually happen because of the corruption. And he'll remind you of the saying that was given to him by this unnameless starlight beauty, which will potentially be our new.
To basically share everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
yeah. So
She'd also share her investigation.
Yeah.
And you probably have seen her pissed. She's pissed.
wow. Okay. Wow, she's really pissed.
Pissed. Peeved, even.
It's really quiet. Yeah.
Gone quieter than usual.
She knows how to contain it.
Mother, father, there's a wig.
Oh,
Upstairs.
Very good.
I don't know if they're okay, but they just woke up and I am a little afraid. Astiani's up there with them, and I just want to make sure they're okay.
I don't have the skill set yet to make
He's
sure.
gonna kind of like put her hands on your shoulder.
Yeah, come here.
Take a breath.
Big hugs, big hugs.
Yes.
Yeah,
Let us go
this
with
is a
you.
big deal.
Okay.
The slaves look at you like whether or not they should go up or not.
Hamid probably turns to them. Get the fresh water.
At once, mistress.
Gives them something to do,
Okay.
and then go.
I won't necessarily narrate it through it, but all of your material needs are met.
Yeah.
Yippee!
So you get up the stairs and you come in. You had sent Ashtiani up. You knew she was in the house, but you haven't seen her yet. So as one of the senior chosen, she gives both of you a bow as you come in.
Give her the appropriate level bow.
And then she stays in the room, and she has her polearm with her, but always. But she steps back like into a corner, basically, to not crouch you.
And she's one of the 8 in the valley, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she is a blooded warrior.
Yeah.
So in terms of like raw chosen power, you're probably the only person in the area who's stronger than her. And you know that like in the fullness of time, she's going to be formidable. She's just, what the learning curve is.
Grow.
Okay, so that's ability, tactically, strength, and all of that. But loyalties, ally, where her head and heart are, do I know where on that side?
She's more of she has deliberately avoided the politics, and she's basically just been a rough rider out there. She doesn't come into Ponji.
She just stays out
much.
of it, or just doesn't.
She likes fighting. She likes fighting the enemies, and then sometimes she asks for leave, and she travels.
It's all external. Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't deal with the internal stuff.
Nope. There are definitely people like that.
Yeah.
She made a fine Marine. Okay, so basically, just her and the family have come in.
Yeah, Mir's just hands are in his
Yeah.
face and he's just crying uncontrollably.
Yusuf. No, not Yusuf, sorry. Oops.
No, he might actually say that. Yeah.
Oh my god! The greatest roleplay you've ever done, bro! Oh my god!
So you hear him call you Yusuf by mistake.
Yeah, and that's when
Come here.
I look up.
I apologize. You okay? He examines where the neckline is. Is it healing?
I mean,
or?
it's actually make both, because I know both of you look. So both of you make medicine checks.
Medicine checks. Because I know I'm not going to succeed at any of them.
I have a 17
Okay.
by the roll.
15.
15. Okay, both of you look.
To parental
The-
guidance.
The stitch, the stitch work is excellent. He should not have survived, and B, the flesh has more or less healed. There's a scar
In 4 days.
in 4 days. Impossible.
That's crazy.
Do I suspect him of being chosen?
Special. So special.
I love it.
That's the only thing I my explanation. Here.
He takes your book. He starts writing down. It's like a pan's written, and it just says, "This is not my voice." And then he begins to cry again.
The lady has blessed you. Yes.
Writes it down again and just goes, "Bless me by taking the only thing that gave me life." And then he begins to completely cry and sob and kind of lose himself a little bit.
No.
You've been reborn. Needful pain.
The thing was taken that you most identified yourself as.
That's all I am.
You have a greater purpose now.
How long have I been asleep?
4
4 days.
months.
Hayat will just reach for their hand and holds it really tightly.
Yeah.
What do you think happens when you die?
I don't know. Perhaps the maiden will finally take you in her arms and...
There was no maiden. It was black. Thousands of years of blackness.
you have risen
How?
and ascended. I can tell.
Why?
You are different than before.
This does not heal normally like it has.
What? Who did it?
Serene, Our Lady, of course, the maiden.
Who cut?
Oh,
Who do you think?
The only person by me was you.
No.
What happened?
We were on the roof and I woke up. But there were voices and almost threatening. I was somewhere else, but I was here at the same time. And then I was brought to the arena and brought where.
Where is Yusuf? Is he okay?
And then she'll start to sit up.
Yusuf.
What has happened?
Yusuf has been given a higher journey and purpose. He is to go north as the best way I can explain. Again, this is just an assumption. Our current leader is a man of rot, and he was a maiden has rebuked him. This I know, and therefore, at least this last chosen who survived was to be of rot.
So he is alive.
Is he alive, Father?
He is serving the maiden, and this pain is needful. And
We
it
must
all,
find him.
Why?
He is on a separate journey now.
He is going north.
He is your son.
Wait, Mayor, who told you this?
I
How
was
did you
there.
know?
I saw him.
I know you did, but who told you about everything else? You seem not yourself.
I've only existed in my own thoughts for what feels like 1,000 summers. I was screaming and yelling, and nothing would come out. Day after day. And you tell me it's only been 4.
Time perhaps varies in other states of mind and body.
A state of nothing.
Perhaps preserved until you are needed.
Perhaps it is what you needed.
It is why you are able to come back. You experienced the needful pain.
Clarity.
And now you're different.
We can talk about this later if you want.
Yes.
Let you recover a little bit, please.
Okay.
Just don't talk anymore. Use what you learned.
He just draws.
As he's drawing, Ashtiani catches
It's a
her.
little hard for those who don't know.
There you go. There you go. As he turns to your daughter, Ashtiani catches your eye, and she gives you one of the signals that the warriors have worked out, and she's asking permission to kill him, even though her face remains exactly the same.
To kill Mare?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make any sense to me? Because as a player, it makes no sense.
Nope. And she's just waiting.
She gives a signal of talking or whatever.
Okay. So, no.
So no.
Yeah. Okay. A tiny, and you, Mare.
She'll kind of do this like.
All right. Well, yeah. And then, okay, so the family probably filters out at that point unless you stay in. Are you staying with them?
I'll stay.
Okay.
And I'll let Ashtiani stay, but I think she needed to talk to Hamida for a little bit. about something.
Oh,
so, like,
she does. And so
chosen things, you know.
there's a change in her voice as she looks at you, and she says, "I will talk with your blessed mother, daughter of Hamid," and she gives you a formal bow.
I mean, before I definitely would have asked my daughter
And leaves.
exactly what this dream sequence is about that she experienced and kind of gotten that information. As much as you're willing to tell me.
Do you faithfully relay that? Are there parts you leave out?
I will relay everything about the voices and that where I was when Mare was stabbed by Fatima.
Okay.
Is there any connections to her?
But there's no like any last. I won't include the last words that Abeyance probably told me.
Okay.
You'll do. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll do. So I will not say that.
Okay.
Do you tell us about your Serene Lady stuff that you...
Not about the prophecy yet. I think she's still processing
All right.
about
That probably doesn't quite seem connected yet. Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Then I won't connect to my stuff yet.
Yeah.
More information is needed. You know, the classic Mithra way.
Right?
Okay, so the three of you then get out into the hallway and actually probably get back downstairs.
Yeah, not in the hallway.
Further away,
Further away.
please.
Perhaps it is because I am all too familiar with the old tales, blessed, exalted. But something about that creature who has revived upstairs makes the hair on the back of my head stand up.
Creature.
Boy. If it was just me, I always follow my instincts. I would take his head. This is your house. You are senior to me. I will do no such thing without your blessing.
That is correct.
But I also am a blooded warrior and will let my preferences be known. I actually came here, though, on different business. You know how we had that, how a summer ago everything seemed to turn upside down with woe working? Well, and she says, actually, can we go outside? It'd be easier for me to show you.
Yes.
Okay, so you step out and...
And I would explain to him real quick that she gave me a signal to ask to kill Mare.
Okay.
And I'll just... You realize
Just keying him in on that.
I'm putting this together, but... Right now there's... Any return or process of chosen seems to be going the way of rot.
Exalted, you are far... Exalted, you are far more in her favor than I am. It's just... It doesn't feel right to me. But it is what it is.
There are many things in the world that do not feel right, but that does not mean that this is in particular.
And that, blessed Hamid, is why I do not spend much time in Panji.
Speak of
She says,
will working and turning upside down.
indeed. Well, I have traveled far and wide, even though I am still only a scant few summers, and we are not the only people who experienced it. And I thought I was on the same path as you, and now, Ignis! And she fires off a flame bolt, and it hits into the dirt. I couldn't do that before. Something has been awakened inside of me or twisted. As far as I know, I'm the first of us to experience it this way. I came here as our greatest warrior, asking, and one of maybe 3 of our greatest sages, asking your advice.
You talked to Mithra as well.
No, I have not. I don't know him the way that you do.
He might have some information to glean from this.
Considering he has will and
Frankly, I trust you more. He's so deep into politics. Is this something that I should seek to excise? Ask the maiden to take out of me? Find some way? Or should I embrace it even though it's not part of our tradition?
There are always exceptions to tradition. Both
There's
of
also
us came
change.
to the maiden in ways that are not traditional.
we accepted Sertiman when I came through other means, being chosen.
With respect, Exalted, your power clearly comes from her, though. And
But still we accept the fact that chosen via Sertiman is correct in the society moving at some point in time forward.
what if it was one of the outsiders, though, who changed everything? This massive shift that happened a summer ago. If these gifts come from her, from Sertiman, of course, that means the world to me. But the fact that my own essence was perverted, altered, I just need to know that I'm not unclean. Do you understand? This didn't happen to you.
Did anything happen to me at all?
No.
Nope.
Steve, you felt a disturbance
That is a
in the
good question.
force.
Did anything shift in her? Because she has been learning some stuff on the side from
That's true.
Mirza. So she's not.
You know that there was a shift, but it did like a massive shift, but it didn't impact you personally. No.
Okay, but I've seen that there's some shift.
The two,
Something has changed.
That's been observed. Yeah. For one thing, y'all, because this is the year after Zed,
yeah.
right? After Figulus Neus changed the world with Zed. The very first reports.
I was about to say.
The very first reports of humans monobending, not mutants, not creatures, but just humans monobending is coming in, where they're working will without any training. That just started up last year. But she was already chosen, so manifested differently with her.
Ashiana, have you prayed to the maiden?
Constantly.
And has she given you any sign?
You know how it is. Sometimes you think there's a sign. Sometimes you think it's your own desperation, and sometimes you think it's just vanity. I don't know. Not that I know. No.
I had the most unusual clarity 3 nights ago, contemplating abeyance and what happened to my son. And in that altered state, I met someone. She had to be the voice of our maiden. She said the alterations were from her. I can only presume these alterations are being allowed as well. If that starry, ivory-eyed face woman was able to say such, and she was magnificent, I could tell. And she has a place here. Which thread, I don't know. Which path, actually our daughter will have a lot to do with. That I do know from a prophecy.
It seems a great many things are changing.
I would say, for now, it is part of the change and part of what is needful. And as I continue to contemplate, I will let you know through my own religious contemplations whether or not something changes from that. But our son was derived from her specifically, and he came back from the dead to serve a purpose up north.
He is the perfect example of something that is different, something that is what we traditionally would eliminate. And yet the maiden is using him in her grand plans.
In some cases we tried to. We did not understand until now.
It is a lot.
Well, then all I can say for now is that I accept your judgment.
Continue to pray and see if enlightenment comes.
Always.
But I wouldn't willfully exercise it out of you if it's something that the maiden wishes you to have. For what purpose forward?
If nothing else, what is needful pain but not change?
Or not knowing.
I can't argue with that. You know that she's going to want to be in the Sertiman then.
I don't know if that is her path.
Well, then you don't know your daughter very well. With respect, Exalted Emir.
She may want Sertiman, but I fear right now Sertimans lead to one thing. What I do know is she has a path north of here.
Yeah, north, always north.
Yeah, huh?
Okay.
See you guys next week.
Session over.
done.
Mir stabbed himself in the ear. Yeah, I love that.
All right, so time
Passes.
some time passes. Mary, you try to come to grips with life as it is, and you and I've already discussed some of the internal processes going on. Hayat, you see your dear friend in agony, and you it's very difficult to know what's needful and what's not. And try as you might. Actually, go ahead and make. I know we're doing more rolls this session, but
Yay.
go ahead and make an insight check.
Those dice are
Insight.
awesome. Are those new?
Insight.
You get those?
No, I've had this for a while.
Little insight.
15 on the die.
Okay, that's even at this stage. It's pretty damn high.
Yeah.
Very insightful. I know my friend.
There was a lot of sight.
He seems to be unmoored in a way that that you've never seen him before. He's drifting. If he were a different person, you would call it a crisis of faith. Like that bad.
Got it.
Ashiani stays. She's in and out of the house, but if you allow her, she'll start contributing to
How
your.
much time is passing roughly?
We'll see. We'll see.
I'm wondering when and if there's ever a connection based on discussions between me and my daughter on.
I'm gonna say eventually that happens, but
Eventually.
I'm gonna keep the focus on her though.
Yeah.
So yeah. So if you indicate that you want her to stay around, she'll stay around.
Yeah.
If not, she'll probably piss off.
Yeah,
As is her way.
I'll have her stick around for like a little bit longer and just go. So what are you talking about with my mother, by the way? Not that you'll probably ever tell me anything, but you know.
Go
If
ask.
this prophecy is going to have me either be chosen or not, then you know. Technically, I guess I am chosen.
That's the thing about prophecies, isn't it, Hayat? You never. The bitch of it is trying to interpret them. This is after she smacked you around in the backyard pretty well. And she's trying to get you to understand to use your length, use your reach.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, stop being so stubborn, and then just fucking hit me. And just like they'll go into. If I beat you, you tell me exactly what you said to my mom.
If you beat me, the sun will rise in the west.
Oh, my God.
I love them. I love them so much.
So good.
They're so awesome.
And, you know, of course, this is all, these are all the tracks of a deeper, long association with her
Yep.
as the summers go. How much time before your character starts agitating to be part of the Sertiman?
Probably, I would say, like, maybe about a year or so, year and a half, maybe.
That's what I was gonna. That's
Yeah,
kind of
makes
what was
perfect
feeling right
sense.
to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, you want to get some training in.
Yeah.
The squishy body of
You get some
the
training.
squishy bookworm. The squishy bookworm who always has their head in a book and not at the gym. So, but there will be like some conversation.
Less book,
Faith-wise.
more other stuff, yes.
Yeah, like faith-wise as well, of just like talking about the prophecy. I think at some point they would have brought it up.
Learn these forms, then you can read.
No more
Fine.
books.
Fine.
When you eventually release Yusuf, is Hayat present?
Will you let me be present, or I could just, sneak in?
You could.
Quite nimble.
Your first act of major defiance. I appreciate that.
How
Thank you.
how is she in the training?
Well, this would have been pretty early on. This would
Pretty
have
early on.
been just like the next day or 2 days or 3 days or something.
She'd go.
Okay.
I even like the idea that Hamid wouldn't even give her the option or tell her what we're doing.
No, I'm
Just be
going.
like, follow me.
Okay.
Very cool.
Okay.
Cool.
So
Very cool.
you're back in the chambers where it all happened. The room where it happened. The room where it happened.
Let's see.
And she, along the way, she would be like, a warrior must face the things that are uncomfortable.
And perhaps to your surprise, not only has Archon Mirza showed up, but esteemed Khosrau has showed up to the unveiling. So his formidable figure, there's a reason he's the boss. He can beat the most ass.
Of course.
But he's staying some distance away, still watching. You see he has his two-headed bright metal axe.
Doesn't want to participate, just wants to watch. Typical.
And Mirza, nods, acknowledges him. He nods and acknowledges this, little gathering of chosen, which in this era is quite a few.
Give the appropriate acknowledgments.
Yeah, as you get to the boulder, and Mirza, keeping his voice low, says, "Well, apparently, he has something he wants to tell the rest of us after this is over."
What does he want to tell us?
It could be any number of things.
Find out.
Are you ready? And as he bends the mana in the area, as you get the different levers that you've set in place, and start applying physical strength,
I extend arms from me.
as you use
Arms of Hadar.
as you use your own
That
abilities,
looks a
the
little more of a
shadowy,
shadowy arms to help pull it away.
more of the tentacle variety.
Yes.
but yes. You shift, probably the better part of like 2 tons out of the way. You don't have to lift it, but still shifting it, over.
Where's that shovel when we need it?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So guys, back in the
The
camera.
dang show.
Well, it's on. Yeah.
So you've come to end me.
No.
He just keeps looking at his sister, though.
Yusuf?
And the hellfire goes out in his eyes.
Are you okay?
Just do it.
No. Not doing anything.
The maiden has other plans for you, Yusuf. My son.
I'm letting you go. Just please. Trust me, I guess. Not
going to try and hurt you. Don't be the last thing on our minds.
Confusion.
They'll start, like, taking a few steps towards him. And then go quicker into, like, a big hug. And am I? Is he cold? Like, what's the vibe? What's the vibe?
And you feel a cold, bloody tear spurting on you.
A lot has happened.
He
I missed you all those days.
He buries his face in your neck, which could be a killing blow, but instead, it's just a desperate nuzzle.
Oh, they'll hug it a little tighter. I'll see you up north, Mother.
If he locks eyes with his mom, he's probably seen a little tenderness in her eyes a few times. This is probably the most. Like, she's got her back to everybody else, and there's a part of her that's definitely breaking inside.
Did I win?
Yes.
This sucks.
You always won.
You were magnificent, Yusuf. This is needful. The maiden's choice. You were to head north.
Use it wisely.
Seek out the serene lady.
I'll see you there.
I'll see you. It's burning off.
Did I win?
Twist.
This is all interesting about today's version of them wanting to go north as well. So
Yep. Uh-huh.
as we all backfill.
It's all making sense. It's all
win?
coming together.
That was so good.
Wow.
The esteemed starts coming forward, slapping the axe into his hand, and then throws himself on the ground, has his head up against, pressed into the axe. Abeyance. It has rejected me. I need help. We need help.
We do.
Man's trying not to say anything.
Tongue is bleeding.
And Abeyance has told me who its next handler is going to be.
I am making sure if I see him move that axe towards abeyance, like he's gonna break it, I am prepared for an action.
I'm trying to keep composure, okay?
As a matter of fact, I have true strike. Oh, that's only one round. Where's it at here? Abyssus retreat kind of loaded up here.
Is a band.
Oh, it's not. Okay, it's not.
It's one level down.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one level down. It has for the
Because
tournament.
I'm one of
it
the
would be-
handlers right now,
Yes,
so I
you
would
are.
know where it is. And
Yeah. And you would have known in the last 4 days that all kinds of crazy crap has been going on, where people are afraid to go into its chambers. People are talking about demonic voices. People are talking about pieces of them rotting off in proximity of it. I mean, it's not happy right now.
would there have been a time where I could visit it?
For narrative purposes, I'm going to say no. That you were too busy, but you're next.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
But you're
so
next
it's
up.
No,
Yeah, you're next
there's
up.
a lot happening.
He's been rotting off.
What? Who?
What's been rotting off? Pieces of
No,
rotting off.
pieces of the handlers.
Oh.
Because remember, in this era, Corey,
Yeah,
there's no
covenant.
one who's right. There's no one who's like accepted the covenant and been accepted.
They're rejecting all these handlers.
You're essentially even your wife, who's very deep in the favor of the maiden, is a placeholder. Yeah. It tolerates you.
Get them to move. Get them to move their uranium.
Yeah.
Really. This makes me dizzy, but it's fun.
And
my toenails fall.
If it lashes out at you as the only chosen handler, you've got a real problem. But you know that you're going to go down there at some point soon. You have to, because all of the non-chosen now are just terrified of going into the chamber. So the chamber that you visited in your dream.
So excited to go visit that thing.
So the Esteem's eyes is his beady he's a large man, but he's got deep set kind of beady small eyes, but they come up with intent, and you can feel the strength of his spirit.
Listen, I just work here. It's fine. Mitra's just trying to look like.
It is
Me?
known. It is known.
What?
I don't know.
They stand there. Look, that is who will accept the covenant of abeyance. Next.
Me.
Go and see for yourself.
I'm gonna do it.
Handler.
Check on that.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Insight.
That's fair.
That's good.
This is wild guess.
He's a good liar.
Yeah.
He's a good liar.
You know he's a good liar.
I'm reading Khosrow.
Yeah.
More on his. Is he getting angry about that?
Ooh, I like that.
What's his emotional state when he says that and looks at Hayat?
Go ahead.
I roll a 10.
10. Okay, you're unsure.
Tan. A tan.
He could be in earnest, or this could be complete BS. You got it.
We are meant to know.
We're meant to know.
Okay, really tuned
And I
in
have
today.
perception on insight, so that's going to be a total of 25.
Holy moly.
That's pretty fatty.
They don't call her blessed for nothing.
All right. My goodness.
What are your intentions?
You see him,
Nice.
and you see two very different men at the same time. The one you see as, frankly, the strongest of the chosen, of the Death Tamers right now. And it's not to say that your era is weak either, Hamid. It's just that he is powerful. But the insight that you get into that is that the maiden selected him, and the phrase "a crude man for a crude time" comes into mind. And the other man that you see is a small man. He's a groveling man. And is a terrified man.
Interesting.
Who has always been ill-suited to the station of the beloved. He's not even granted that title.
Okay.
And so, when you're looking at him in this moment, is he angry? Yes. But he is legitimately terrified because this is all spiraling out of his control now. And you know that his past, shall we call them indiscretions with the Sertaman and with putting himself up in the front row seat, in the high spot, which should be reserved for the maiden, that all of that could come out. Mm-hmm. You know that. I mean, the couple of you who are in this room are
well aware.
Are well
There's
aware,
a very
but
powerful frailty about him.
it's a weird contrast, but it's there.
Yeah, that's kind of cool and interesting as a player.
I mean, he'd be like a 13th, 14th level warrior, I mean, just a beast on the field of battle.
It's a ton of insecurity.
But there's all this insecurity, and he knows that it can all just go away. Because when the maiden decides that you're out of order, she's not. That's not a goddess you want to screw up with.
No.
So you see that, and he gets up and he says, "You, as the esteemed, you come now." And he gets up, and he starts marching toward the inner stairs in the chamber.
I'm gonna immediately look at.
Towards abeyance.
Yeah.
I'm gonna immediately look at them and go like, what?
We should go with her. Make sure nothing
Esteemed.
happens.
This may be the path, but is this the time?
No time like the present. Mirrors sighs, looks at you, and for the second time in probably within a couple days, he looks at you.
Cheryl looked at me like,
What's
no.
Right now?
The three of you are here.
What's the tradition of us going down there?
His back is to you. Well, she can go down there whenever she wants, because you have a direct line to the maiden. You don't handle abeyance, but you can. It's not.
No, I mean, you like actually be in the room. Not, I don't want to handle it.
It's not out of order for you to be there. But Mirza looks at you, and you see his unspoken. All right. Do we give in, or are we jumping him?
Woo.
Did I have a chance to tell Mirza anything about what we said?
Does he actually say that?
No. I mean,
just
he's looking at
You would
you.
have known that we should not kill him. This is needful. I mean, I would have gone through that process with him and what Trisley said. Well, I don't know Trisley, but
And then as he's looking at you, he says, as that's kind of running through, because he has a superb mind. Kind of apropos of nothing to an outsider, he just looks at you and says, "Very fucking well," and starts walking.
walk towards with her.
We're coming, esteemed. We're coming.
We're coming right there.
It's gonna grab my hand grenades.
Something that Mirza almost never does, because many of them are irreplaceable, but esteemed Khosrau doesn't even twig to this. He brought all 7 of his Calvaria today.
Oh, wow.
His floating skulls.
Oh my God, 7?
Yeah, there's 7 of them. And they're just floating around him. Even when he's going into battle, he only brings 2. Because so many of the other ones
He is that scared, yeah.
are irreplaceable. You know?
He's not. He's not doing so hot.
And he prizes the knowledge. Yeah. Okay. So you get down into the chambers. You go through a number of security measures that aren't important for this narrative, but you go through them. And you see the remains of one of the handlers who was not swift enough to exit the chambers. So this is up the ante now. Mm-hmm. And her desiccated husk of a body is there. It looks like someone just extracted all liquid out of it, like an old classic Trek episode.
I immediately just get like much closer to my parents, just like, I'm actually kind of scared right now. What does this mean?
Uppies. Yeah, uppies.
Yeah, please help.
With a sigh, I think Hamid is going to come up next to you and squeeze your hand. Sometimes a warrior must face things that are uncomfortable.
You were chosen by the maiden.
It would be a great honor, but why do the voices seem so mean? Unneedful and stupid.
Perhaps it is your job to sort them out.
Well, a test. Always a test.
They'll still like hold their hands, but like with a little more determination, they fix their posture and just like
she'll and you
it.
see Hamid kind of do this whole like this, like, just if you're gonna face it, face it.
Chin up, baby.
With everything, we're proud of you.
Thank you.
And they'll give like a nice squeeze back. And keep walking.
Okay.
With that, what's like the ceremony? Is it expected like Hamid go towards it, or we're just shooing Hayat in that direction
Just
without
shoo
any
Hayat.
of the formalities?
It's like, okay, go,
Right.
Scram.
swim.
There's a whole raft of rituals that you would need to every single time that you'd approach, every single time you would leave, every single time that you'd be holding it for longer than a couple torches, et cetera, et cetera.
Would I go through my normal ritualistic stuff for this sort of thing?
If you want to, you can. Yeah, but in this moment, probably not.
Not right now, no. It's too personal.
You come up and you are now keenly aware that of two things. One, you know that this was wrought by the maiden. That this thing was created by her. Perhaps she used intermediaries, perhaps she used hands in the world of muscle and blood to make it happen. But Abeyance was constructed through divine will. There's a whole debate about that. Okay. And the other thing is, there's a motherfucking demon in the center of it.
Oh!
No.
So that's what it is.
And that is its engine.
Oh.
Wow.
Interesting.
That is its engine.
I don't think I would be able to discern what kind of demon it is at this point.
No.
I'm not that well studied yet.
So as you go up,
You're reading smut? What are you reading all day?
Yeah.
Read your histories, girl.
and it calls into question what voice was hers, what voice was the demon's, what voice was your own inner fears, and you have no idea. In this particular moment, you have no freaking idea.
Cool. Love it. Okay.
You see the sweat on your hands turn into dust.
Okay. That's fine.
Your palms.
These weak arms are sweaty.
Your palms.
Spaghetti.
your palms begin to tingle. Your joints ache. Your lips crack. Some of your hair dusts off. Turns into a fine mist around you. Your clothing starts to disintegrate.
Just close their eyes and just sit in this. Just
Your face begins to tighten uncomfortably and then painfully.
Oof.
But you're almost contact.
Ooh.
I will ask of you many things. One of them you must do. The rest you will choose. Do you accept?
Do I have a choice?
Not after you say yes. Do you accept?
Yes.
Then I don't have to kill you. Good. I was getting tired of that. And the whole vibe in the room shifts. Your skin is fine and supple. You have rags on now, remnants of your clothes.
Yeah.
And your hair is somewhat shorter, but other than that. And as you turn around, you see, and I was really careful about this, Sydney.
Ooh.
I was really careful about this, so hopefully this is okay with you as the player.
Okay.
But as you turn around, I don't believe you ever described the two good eyes.
Oh.
Oh.
Something has shifted in the color of the eyes.
Both of them?
Yes, both of them.
Before they were nice, deep amber.
Yeah.
And now they are kind of like a golden orange.
Ooh. Wow.
You will learn in summers to come that is the flesh, the color of the purported color of the flesh of the engine of Abeyance.
Go.
Interesting.
So fucking cool.
Okay, faraway friends. That brings us to the halfway point of tonight's episode. Everything is going to be fine. Everything's going to be great.
He didn't kill me.
Nothing bad is going to happen in our
just
remaining time
need a demon
together.
friend.
Ever, certainly, we're all just going to be friends.
Everything.
All
Nothing
right,
bad will happen ever.
go on to intermission.
Tail,
And we'll
tails.
be back in a few. Thank you so much.
See you guys.
Eldritch Foundry is evolving. Bringing you a virtual army of miniatures like never before in full tabletop-ready color. Paint your miniatures in our upgraded creation tool, then bring them to life in stunning one-to-one detail as 3D printed miniature masterpieces. With complete control over your digital color scheme, you can point and click for simple color fills or go all in on highlights, shading, brush techniques, and more. Create epic heroes and madness-touched monsters that are truly yours. Miniatures are 3D printed in perfect color detail using a new PolyJet 3D printing process, giving you unique, bespoke models ready to delve into any dungeon as part of your next campaign. Everything from one-off player characters to dungeon mobs and boss-level monsters that will make every player in your group jealous. But that's not all. You can take things fully digital and export into leading VTT platforms such as Tailspire and Roll20 to take your games and your custom miniatures wherever you want. Join the adventure of a lifetime. Back our campaign today to help us bring this stunning revolution in custom miniature design to reality. With Eldritch Foundry, full-color 3D design and printing.
Greetings, weary travelers, and welcome to Constructed Chaos, a channel dedicated to all things D&D, including live play streams and podcasts, 3D printing, painting, crafting, homebrew content, and guides for players and dungeon masters alike. Join our Discord for even more special benefits, announcements, and free downloadable content. And until next time, go out there and make some chaos.
his touch burns away the dark. With a soft golden hue, your world is made anew. We follow the path you've laid.
friends. Welcome back.
That's the best comeback I think we've done. We ended off with a
candle. Hook me up with the candle, please.
A candle of tales.
Yay!
I tell you what, that was the vibrato just comes out naturally.
I know. It's just a little.
So it's been a hard year, usually counted by summers here. It's been a hard year.
Whole year since that.
You have maintained a difficult, strained relationship with your former best friend, who you know is is struggling in the depths of his own despair.
Yeah.
And the two senior chosen, blessed and exalted, respectively, kind of try to navigate this bizarre situation with the esteemed, with abeyance, with the fact that a non-chosen is now the really the covenant holder. I'll go so far as to say, because she's more than an orb bearer at this point, much more. And although Hayat is not the only person who handles abeyance, they are by far the most prominent, or the one who does so the most frequently, I should say.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and over that time, certain nights you'll just find, Mayor's not there, you don't know where he is, and then if you do go up to the roof, he's standing there with his eyes closed, just looking out at the stars, but on the ledge, entirely closed within his own thought. And you also begin to find spotted rags with spotted blood. And he's just completely confused anytime that you kind of approach him, and he apologizes and kind of is himself a little bit again. But most nights he kind of finds that, and then he's gone for extended periods of time, and then he comes back, and his skin is very, very red, and he's just out in the desert, and he doesn't know how he got there until he comes back.
Okay.
Possessed.
Are you going to allow him to continue to sleep under the roof?
I think the two of them would have some conversations about what's going on.
And also the fact that your child is incessantly bothering you about petitioning Esteemed for another Sertiman. Now, Esteemed Khosrau has been oddly subdued in this last year. He's become a lot more toe the line sort of individual.
Has there been any other Sertimans?
No.
Okay.
No. It's usually a couple years in between. But sometimes they happen more frequently though.
I was curious if some other family tried or something.
And it's been a year since the last one.
Interesting. Fascinating.
What do we notice about here in terms of like this? Hey, the redness, is that purely the sun beat, or is there something else going on skin tone wise?
I'd say the skin is getting a lot more hardened, like leather. He's spending a lot more time out, and like he's not.
I'll give both of you I'll give both of you an investigation roll.
Well, may I get in on that action?
Okay. Yeah.
Even though I'll probably get nothing. 9.
Give me a deception roll.
1.
12.
1.
Let me see.
16.
Roll a 1.
Okay. It's 3 plus 5.
Plus 5. Okay.
Oh, yay. 1 point above. Let's go.
Now, all of you at some point, and you can receive this in different ways, you see that Mare is beginning to ritually scar himself.
I would almost say Hamid might even follow him when he leaves the house, and he seems to be leaving the city.
Okay.
Can I determine what sort of ritual scars these are?
Donnie?
All right. You probably will start to notice it when you're finding like the bandages and cloth that's around, but it's almost going in like spiral-like circles, but you can't tell what part of his body that is going on. He still wears long sleeve clothes and all that stuff, so he's still hiding that part of himself. But
is this part of our religion or a religion that I know of?
Nope.
And if you do follow him out, it would be during the day in the desert, and it would be like completely within a dune-like area, and then he strips to himself fully nude and allows the sun to just burn him. So when his eyes come back, his eyes are brighter, but it's almost like he's afraid of the dark. And he wants to feel.
All right.
And he's starting to pick up that you guys are following him too.
Let's see. Make a perception check.
I'm not following them.
She only follows maybe once or twice.
Yeah, make a stealth roll.
That is a 16 on the die, 21.
21.
I don't think stealth is going to be her thing.
At least his dex.
15.
Okay, so the first time when you're totally out of your head, you miss her for a while, but then as you're starting to come back to yourself, after you've gone through the process, you see her, you spot her, and you're like, that's a little far out.
Yeah, there's no reason for you to be here,
Yeah.
knowing that it's safe. He wouldn't address it whatsoever.
No, never discussed, unless you bring it up.
If she feels like she's been spotted, she might actually just walk up to him and have a conversation of, you want to feel pain?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she's a hardened warrior.
Yeah.
She's seeing this, kind of soft, non-fighter trying to feel and deal with something that's. She doesn't know how to deal with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he might be able to help with that side, but at least with one side, she's like,
Oh, yeah? What do you say?
this is...
All right, so you think you've been spotted. You approach him.
There are many different ways to feel pain. This is by far one of the stupidest that I've seen.
Forgive me. But when I felt nothing at all, feeling anything is better than that.
Do you dream of that place?
I don't dream anymore. It's only nothing.
So what are you walking towards then?
It is like the light.
What are you fighting for? Breathing for? You're wandering.
For Hayat.
He begins to cry.
The Earthman is coming.
It is.
She will do the well.
She has already been chosen in one way.
I've seen her eyes. But everything is so different now.
With you as well.
I know what I will do.
He just kind of walks past. That night, you'll find a note.
Do you let him go?
If you need help, you know where to ask. You have it. Whatever it is that you need.
You have been the only thing that resembles a mother to me.
Okay.
He's walking.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and then that night you find a note that says, and it's funny, whenever you read his writing, you still hear his old voice.
My little bookworm. Remember my last passage before I changed.
And then Mir's gone. He leaves the house entirely. All of his stuff is gone. Slips out in the night.
Okay. The slaves tell you that he slipped out in the night.
I hope he finds his own way.
It's his choice. I hope he seeks the needful pain he finds.
How does Hayat deal with him vanishing?
More like feeling for a few moments, numb, still thinking back on the passage itself, and still has the book journal. She definitely lied and said, "Oh, it was too covered in blood to be recovered."
Right. Right.
But
And nobody ever challenged you on that particular detail. Yeah.
Including him.
she would fold up the letter, hold it, feel the texture, and stick it in the book.
Okay.
And then just hardens themselves. Moves on.
The night comes.
Oh!
The night.
Can't wait.
Oh, yes. Another line.
Blessed Hamid, you and Ashtiani have done everything you can. You know that her chances are far poorer than Yusuf's, but they're not zero. And it's her, Hayat's ability to assess the amount of danger she's in second to second is essential. Because there's going to be an ebb and flow to the combat. Because remember, it's a disorganized just brawl.
I would say there's definitely a few training sessions where we had Ashtiani and myself.
It's not a duel. Like, it's specifically not a duel.
Right.
It's a brawl.
It's a rumble. So she could get a taste of what it's like against multiple combatants.
How is she tactically? I mean, or strategically. I would assist with some of that as well.
Okay.
We would probably incorporate succession.
Some succession,
training, just to give her an idea of some of that thought process.
Like, okay, if this is the strongest person down in the pit, this is what you wait for. You know? You need to
This
make
is
sure
the
to
person
wait
you
until
take
they're
out first.
right.
Like, here are the opportunities.
Right.
And what's your best weapon?
Ooh, I would say at the moment.
You would pen with every single one.
It's mightier than the sword.
Plus at least 3 or 4 you've never seen.
A variety. I would say a variety of things, but I guess like a preferred weapon is like a 2 swords, dual bladed.
And 2 short swords.
Yeah. Or a short sword, I would guess. Like pretty
Okay.
decent enough that it's like it's not like their first like go-to. They would rather beat them up first and then go for like the killing blow.
Okay.
Has Hayat ever killed anyone before?
Probably not.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
But it's just like I guess I'd rather punch them and, you know, try and not to like give them some sort of dignity.
Okay. As you're going, Archon Mirza takes the extraordinary step of not being there at the Sertiman Chambers, and instead attaches himself to your retinue. At least part of the way there, as you're walking. But before he gets there, are there any parting words that you want to give her? Are you going to wait? You're going to wait until you're actually at the chamber, or do you want to have that discussion while you're still in the courtyard before you leave your grounds?
And Kazara, I assume, is still not allowing us to go in there?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can he?
I mean, you could try to force the issue.
I think there would at least be the gentle prodding, the tiptoe of he has admitted that Abeyance has rejected him. Does he have the authority to prevent us from going in there?
Ooh.
He just slaps his axe into his palm. Mirza would know, because in the lead up, he's essentially told you that if esteemed Khosrau does anything out of joint, that this is going to be the night.
Okay. That's enough for me.
Okay, so are you having that discussion with her before you leave your grounds? Or
And probably with him before, of like, if the shit hits the fan and he's really pressing, I don't have any reason to hold back anymore.
Other than the fact our vision, the prophecy says otherwise.
You are right.
He has to be around when she appears. This is needful pain. Mithra may not understand that, but I know what I saw. I know what I experienced. It was clear. The clarity was there. I cannot kill him.
Fine, then I will at least be there when it happens.
Okay, so no final words. No final words for this one then.
For Hayat?
This little screen.
I think at least Hamid has really run her with advice And especially in the last, maybe giving her a couple of days, maybe even knowing that this was coming, rest and recover.
Okay.
And I think that would actually reflect in a training regimen. There would be
Sure.
recovery days, so this would
Sure.
just feel like a normal recovery day. And at the last moment, I don't think she'd say anything. I think she would just be like,
And
Everything that you've already needed to say has been said. Okay.
an exalted Amir would. Hayat,
Yes.
you have a destiny. Trust your feelings.
Feelings. Okay. Thank you.
First time you ever have him say actually that specifically to you.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh.
First time we
Using
mentioned
his
feelings.
logic, yes.
Interesting. Feelings.
I remember you said that Yusuf's. What was missing?
Emotion.
Do not let that be missing in you.
There's a word for gut, but that's also.
But yeah, she'd hear that and be like, oh wait.
Oh no.
I'll do right by you.
That's part of it.
I'll do right by everyone, and I'll do my best, which will be hopefully my best.
You will do.
Surprisingly, that's what Hayat told me. I'm grateful for your training and faith in me. Didn't expect that. I don't think anyone here expected me to be here, but I'll do what I can, and I'll do right by you.
Yusuf
and
needs you. You have this.
Yusuf.
And they'll straighten up, stretch a little bit, center themselves, and
I'll go back off and do my ritualistic
Okay.
stuff still.
and while they're preparing, they'll take out the journal and look at the passage and feel it. Feel like the indentations of the pen to the paper.
The quill, yeah.
And
I'll focus on feelings with my.
Just a second. Okay, you burn that into your hand. You burn that into your fingers. You etch that.
thank you. Oh my gosh.
You etch that into your heart. What do you do with a journal?
They'll keep it on them as like a little good luck charm.
On you. Okay.
A little good luck charm. A reminder, one would say.
Okay. Okay. Briefly, Corey.
I'll complete my normal ritual for these sort of things, circle, blood, and all that. But he's really focused on not only the pain, but feeling the pain and feeling into everything. He's really embracing that aspect, which he tends to push back.
Okay, that's very different for you then. Are you staying at the house then, or are you going?
No, I'm there in the antechamber.
Okay, all right. So you are going to go to the antechamber there. Okay. Okay, we haven't even made it there yet.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm trying to get us there. Okay, so you, for the last time, you go through the jasmine festooned gate, the same gate that your brother went through a year ago.
A tear will fall down and just briefly, silently say a little prayer.
And your logical mind knows that if Yusuf couldn't complete this, what hope do you have? And yet, you feel like the winds of fate at your back. You don't know how this is going to happen. You know some of the people in that chamber. And they're very, very good and very determined to be the next chosen.
But I'm smarter.
I read books.
I read books. And
I'm a bookworm.
Sun Tzu.
Let my enemies take each other out.
Yeah, just let them.
Okay, so The procession's over there. Mirza joins you. Whatever he was going to say, he decides not to, and he just nods to the two of you and walks there. Looks at you curiously, and then actually acknowledges you with a little nod. And you make your way in the dead of night over to this ancient spot, which existed before the city did, long before the city did, actually.
Very, very long ago.
Like a crater.
And if I ever get a chance to like see Mirza, I will like tap him as like get his attention. And
He looks down at you.
Thank you for everything you've done for this family. I'm honored and grateful.
Of course you are. Don't thank me yet. No, better yet, thank me by winning.
I will.
In her light.
In her light.
And she'll do the respected gesture.
Okay. You get to the antechamber. Amira, you start going through your rituals. A little bit different from a year ago. Amid, you start going through your rituals as well.
I think she flavors it as well, leaning into the emotions. She, instead of the normal pacing that she does,
Change me.
she kind of just kneels next to him, but not interfering with his circle.
Okay.
And she'll start crying silently. Feeling the loss of every single one of her children. 5 of them.
5 of them.
5.
And hopefully not 6.
And the fact that since this has been going on, your 3 littlest ones are basically being raised by your sister right now, because there's no place for them through all of this. There's too much. Yeah, well,
Too much happening.
enough said. You get into the chamber, and whatever you were expecting or not expecting, there's just very little fanfare, and you do see a chastened, esteemed Khosrau sitting in his appropriate position.
Thank God.
I gotta learn a lesson. Look at that. That's what this whole game's been about.
Yeah. Yeah, a demon has to almost eat you, but he finally got it. And Mirza, there's a little gasp as the 5 other people inside of the chamber look, and they see that Archon Mirza walked in with you. And then he walks by you. He doesn't linger. He takes his place. You know he's not supposed to do that.
Okay.
Playing favorites.
They'll give her another nod of respect to Mirza.
He assumes his position, the same position he's had every single time through all of these. Through the death of 4 of your siblings, unquestionably, and the transmutation, the loss of another, or 3, and the loss of a 4th. And as you look and you see Yasmin, you see Hytham, you see Melchior, you see Khabib, and there's another person there, or thing. Make a perception check.
Perception. Oh, this is fun.
Ding.
Nat 1.
Oh my god.
You don't see.
You're going
There's
to jail.
definitely people here. I can.
There's shadows.
To jail. Be gone.
Okay. Donnie, do you approach her?
No. This can't be real.
No? Okay.
Eyes closed.
Okay.
Real. Fuck. I hate metagaming. It's fine.
Eyes closed.
You go down.
Only wearing trousers.
You're so in the zone. You're so focused right now that there are many details I'm alighting over because they just don't exist for you right now.
I'm zoning out.
as all of you make your way down there, some dropping down, some taking the spiral staircase around.
I'll take the spiral staircase.
Okay.
I'll do some aura farming right now. I'll size everybody up.
The other person in female form who's taking this with you, she walks alongside you and just looks, and there's a strange look in her eyes as she's looking at your eyes. And then when you reach the bottom, they all spread out. They're all looking at one another.
And the thing I'm playing is sitting 100% crisscross applesauce, eyes closed, with just a dagger. Jesus. Sitting in front.
Okay. They look at each other. How do you have yourself positioned?
Somewhere not too far away from everybody. Just to make me feel like I'm in, I don't know. Not that I don't want to give off the vibe that I'm going to be too aggressive in this fight. I want to feel like, hey, I'm like, if you think I have any sort of crazy power, I'm doing this out of respect and holding back. If that kind of aura.
Very good.
Because I don't want to intimidate them, even though, all of the things with abeyance and everything, I know they probably have some sort of misconceptions about what's going on.
Ooh.
So nothing too close, but not too far away either.
And you hear, the maiden will choose one of you tonight. Help make the choice easy. From above, and that's esteemed Khosrau. And you see Yasmin trembling. She breathes out. She looks to Hytham, her longtime lover, who she was ready to kill down here, and he her. That's how much this means to them. You see Melchior and Khabib, brothers, ready to kill one another. With respect, esteemed, with deepest respect. Hytham and I believe that the maiden has already chosen. And she takes her scimitar, kneels down, and puts it on the ground. And he says, yes, the maiden has already chosen. He takes his maul, kneels, and puts it on the ground. Melchior looks at Khabib. Khabib looks at Melchior. They look at you. Fuck it. Mel takes his staff, tosses it down, kneels. She has already chosen. And Khabib nods, takes a weapon whose name you don't even know, that he was holding, one in each hand. Some kind of three-pronged dagger. Maybe the most dangerous one down here.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
You see his jaw working.
Oh shit.
Plants the sai into the ground.
There's like almost a flinch. A lot of adrenaline.
You are not the strongest. But my brother is right. The Maiden of Needful Pain has chosen your path. Gods rot your eyes. And then he kneels.
Why?
Yeah.
And you feel yourself starting to have like an out-of-body experience. How are you taking this in? As the adrenaline dump If you thought you were going to die down here.
One, I feel like I got chipped. I just got chipped. In a way that it's like I can't prove myself as me and not someone who got special treatment. She'll still be in that fighting position, not entirely sure what to do with herself. Fine. If I don't get the honor of being like everybody else, then fine.
And as you will find out, those are your last words as Hayat. You are suddenly aware of the pages of the journal pressed tight against your body. You gestured and put it on the left side.
Yeah.
And those pages, and it's curious because they shouldn't be that high. It feels like they're riding up on your back.
Start filling up.
And as you reach back, you feel nothing at all. Except this wet, sticky thing.
Oh no!
And you realize it's very hard to breathe.
Oh no!
As your lung has been punctured. And the dagger.
I cannot sing.
Coughs of blood and everything.
The others, their eyes are wide, but they do not interfere. And as you topple back, you can see the horribly distorted, scarred, mangled face of Mare.
No.
Of what's become of Mare.
Baby. Oh.
Your lifeblood begins to go into
kind
the
of like
uncaring
reaching
soil.
up for some sort of like touch or feel from there. Anything.
And it just bats it away. And it starts walking around and staring down everything else. And he does not refer to himself by any name since that time.
You hear a and some exchange between the two senior-most, unspoken. But esteemed Khosrau puts his axe up, blocks Mirza's way. Mirza doesn't get up, doesn't challenge it, lets it all play out. Whatever happens, happens.
Can I try and at least try to get up, try to, steel myself a little bit?
Make a roll.
Oh my god, I'm scared! Please don't fuck me. 3! You're also going to jail.
You press up, and Yasmin starts to go forward toward you. Hayat snags her arm and snaps her back. She looks at him, scandalized, and he shakes his head, and he looks like he's ready to throw down with you, but he's not. He's not going to stop this.
Mira turns, seeing you struggling, and then for a flash of a second, you begin to see his eyes as he did, and he starts to cry, and he starts to go towards you. And then he closes his eyes, opens them, and they're not the same ones that you've seen.
Ooh.
He looks down at his dagger. He looks back at you.
There. And just starts reaching out, tears, everything. What have you become? And just
Nothing as I was.
Your vision starts graying out, black at the edges, collapsing in.
Oh, God.
You hear yourself gurgling.
One more time trying to get up, I guess. One more
Make
moment.
another roll.
14?
You toddle, you struggle, and you feel the hairs on the back of your head stand up. You feel a presence. You look down, and you see your poor, eviscerated self on the ground. Everything in grayscale around you.
Oh no, guys. I'm scared.
What thread do you walk? A voice, a familiar voice.
Oh my gosh. What path do I look?
Do you have the strength to pave the way for my true-born child?
I do. I swear I do.
They will be a child of the river, born into the world of muscle and blood. You must guide them, and they say your name, but you're not ready to hear it, and so your ears fail you.
Say it again. I will know this person. Do they exist?
Are you ready to walk with no name, with no face, with no voice, until that moment? Or I can grant you the mercy of nothingness now.
I'll think on it for like a few moments of just like,
You feel
no, but what am I doing?
You feel yourself getting cold, like your back starting to get really cold.
Oh no! This is my purpose. I will do it.
And how will you show me your devotion, your willingness to endure whatever must be, as Kian did so many summers ago? Are you her equal then? Show me.
They'll steel themselves up, instinctively reach, dig, and tear it out.
That takes a lot of.
Is this proof enough for you?
You say out loud, you're standing again. You see that whatever Mare has become, he's fled, even as the Surdaman is true. And for the first time in your thousands of years of history, two Chosen are created that night.
Ooh. They'll flick the eye across the arena.
So from one small retcon that he would take the eye from her hand and then flee.
Oh no, he's fled.
Okay, good.
He's already fled.
Okay, good. Jesus Christ.
He's
That
already
light scared me.
he's already fled.
Okay, great.
So sorry.
Yo, you're good.
The others, now overawed, have just backed up because whatever was happening in the world of muscle and blood, they felt something. And they're just, the other teenagers are like cowering against the sides.
Is this proof enough for everyone here? Is this proof enough that I am chosen on my own right, on my own terms?
Mirza stands up. It is proof that you are reprieved. What is thy name, reprieved? For surely it cannot any longer be the name of thy childhood. And what
Mithra. Mithra is my name now.
you try to speak it and you can't.
Oh.
You try to think it and you can't.
Oh.
You will have to endure now without a name, without a face,
Oh.
and without a voice.
Oh no.
And that, friends, is where we will leave this tale for now.
I'm so sorry.
I'm fine.
Everybody's okay. Everybody's fine.
You are, however, now chosen.
Yeah!
Welcome to level 1.
Level 1, baby! Holy fuck.
Here's your monocle.
My little...
All right.
Oh my god.
Thank you all for hanging in there and giving a hell of a performance.
And watch me get traumatized live on camera.
Yes, live on camera. That's how we do here at Darkeport.
Welcome
Far away friends, thank you so much for spending this time with us. Hopefully this gives you insight into the person who will eventually become Mithra. And we'll see you here next week, and we're going to resume the main campaign.
Yay! With new perspectives, I hope.
With new perspectives, indeed, just so. So, as you're on your journey out there, stay safe, stay curious, and be well. Bye.